BLSP stock update. Blue Sphere Corp stock. It closed the session of the 1st of October 2021 at $0.0008, a retracement of 27.27%. 4.7 million shares crossed the tape during that session. And yes, it is still quoted and listed. That is because its dark status is a legal provision, and also because it is not on the SEC non-compliance list. So that is why it's still quoted, even though we can buy in certain jurisdictions. I think you can still buy, but from what I'm reading now, the news is coming. It's getting tighter. I think the restrictions are now in place in Canada and all that stuff. But the effort we are all making now, not just to get the shareholder of record count to 300, it is the to ensure that the shareholders of record all have DRS numbers. They all have the DRS numbers. I believe that we may have actually reached that, but obviously we are working. We are groping in the dark. See what you can see what I mean by the fact that we are groping in the dark. See, this is what you're looking at right there. This is an email from an official at Clear Trust. You can see what it's saying there. Dear Raymond, obviously this is to Ray of 808. So, Mr. Palace did not give permission to release the shareholder record count. You can see why we are all pushing to get that count in place. We all why Ray is pushing to for us to send in our DRS numbers, because when we do that, then it is confirmed that this is the number in place and all that stuff. You can actually clearly see that the folks at the company, know they know what they do. They don't want to leave this status. They don't want to leave the status, and there's a good chance as well that they may also have other tools in the armory, legal tools in the armory, to ensure that we don't succeed in this. And then I'm having this feeling, because there's no way we all can be there investing. I think according to Ray of 808, we hold about 1.5 billion 1.5 billion shares, or I think something like that. But there's no way the company will see all the clamor we have been putting in place, and they have not even at least tried to communicate with us. I'm not saying forget about disclosing the financials, at least communicating. I mean, put out a publication, something like that. They have not done that, so that's if you ever thought that that there's something wrong about that, then this is a confirmation. You can see this email you're looking at right now. They are clearly, clearly in a fight with us. That is apparently abundantly evident. We are battling with them. But I also feel that we shouldn't really battle with them. We shouldn't. Personally, we shouldn't. We just hope that we can all work amicably, and they communicate with us, and they tell us what they are doing. And if they don't want to come out, from this status, then they tell us. We know what's in play. I know it's not going to be good for anybody at all, because we have all lost money. Unfortunately, that's not a solution. We have lost money. A lot of people have lost money. They have to somehow, recoup it or something like that. So it may not be enough to just say, this is where we want to remain, if they want to communicate with us. So yes, we have this, and this email, it just is a confirmation that we have a battle on our hands. And the way forward, it is the legal, through the legal provisions, and we have to go about that. Even at the same time as well, like I've been trying to point out, they may also have a legal means of also countering us if we succeed in reaching the DRS count of 500 and more. They may have other tools, because usually when there's a law, there's also an interpretation of the law, or there may also be a case law that may have watered down and negated what the law states literally, or what the regulation states. So it's, we'll see how things progress. So right now, as Ray of 808 pointed out, they can't disclose any previous records, any previous financial outcomes, 2019 to 2020. They can't disclose them. The only one we are looking and pursuing right now is that of this year 2021, and this year 2021 is not due yet because the year hasn't ended. The financial year of Booth Fair Corp ends on the 31st of December 2021. So we have to keep pursuing that. There's every chance we'll definitely reach that and surpass that. If you go on stock tweets, you see what's going on there. People are indicating that the various brokerages are saying that they have a huge load of transfers to pursue. So there's every chance we'll get there. So yes, fingers crossed. We will, get somewhere. I believe something is going to happen. Something is going to come out of it. And at the same time as well, it's not. How do I put it now? It's Blues Fair is not. Well, they're partly responsible, but it is also the regulators that place the restriction on the stocks. The stock itself, is where it is legally. So they have to. That's another part of it. They have to, see if they can lift the restriction, because the stock, yes, is compliant with the regulation. It's just that right now we are not sure that the DRS count has reached 300 or more. And if we haven't reached that, then they haven't fallen foul of any regulation. So we are just going ahead to see that they fall foul of it, and come clean and disclose and communicate with us. So there are two parts of this. One is not even yes, Blues Fair, they have to communicate. Well, it's part of their due diligence. It's due them to communicate with us, be it by disclosing anything or not. But at the same time as well, the regulators are also punishing the investors, because it is this restriction they placed on the stock that is causing the problem. And at the same time, they are going to say, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know, you're buying a stock, you have not seen its financial outcomes. That's why we placed the restriction, and everybody wants to get involved in that. And also, they may even call it the meme stock. So that's what's going on right now. And if we have to continue with what happened during the last session, the session of the 1st of October, the price crossed below the 50-day moving average, and it's just been moving sideways. And at the same time, I've been wondering, it's 200-day moving average, its underlying moving average is still reading that the stock is, still indicating that it is bullish. And this is, a stock that has been declining since February. I'm wondering how the 200-day moving average will still be indicating that bullishness. Well, that's what is going on there. You can see what the readout is going to say here. It says it appears to be improving within a longer term uptrend. Okay, longer term uptrend, yes, which is that 200-day moving average. Though it's presently below its 200-day moving average, that average is rising. You can see that due to prior gains in Blues Fair stock. Additionally, the MACD histogram, which is used to measure the near-term trends above zero, comparative relative strength analysis, shows it's outperforming the S&P 500. I think this is at the outcome of what has happened over the last 14 trading sessions, and indeed, because many people are not buying at the moment. Many people are not selling at the moment. What is available, the float, the absolute number of shares are available is quite small, and we have that people are, people still want to buy. There was also that glitch, people bought and all that stuff. I think that has caused it to be outperforming the S&P 500. That sounds ridiculous, but that's what may have happened there. So momentum for BLSP stock is strongly bearish. Yes, it is strongly bearish from this oscillator. Yes, it's oversold. That's another complication. The level which many analysts call oversold. This means that investors have been actively selling shares and driving the price lower. So, okay, yes, that is contrary to what I just said. People are indeed selling based on what the data is saying, based on what was obtained through this 14-period slow stochastic oscillator. Okay, so the unbalanced volume indicator shows that longer term selling pressure has given way to near term accumulation by traders. So yes, okay, at the same time as well, you can see we have two things you probably don't have to combine. People are buying, people are selling. So on one hand, people are there's a record that it's indicating that people are selling massively, but at the same time as well, a record which is through this unbalanced volume indicator that people are still buying. And we can see the volatility stands at 584.78%. So that usually when this happens, when you have this sort of volatility, it's definitely an issue associated with a figure that's associated with a lack of shares available to be traded. It's definitely sometimes, or in a lot of cases, happens like that. At the same time as well, some of these values also may be picked up from various platforms elsewhere, but even though they're not absolutely disclosed to us, especially those who are using platforms that are based in US, they may not see everything, but things are going on. Evidently, things are going on. And this is a stock that you can really buy from its main base, the US, but it still has a volatility of 584.78% and still outperforming the S&P 500, and still has an upward sloping underlying trend. That just tells you that things are going on. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video.